And now, Console Room would like to welcome the Console Room radio players presenting the Daleks Masterplan Part 3.
Oh, excellent. Hi. Before we begin today's performance, I wanted to share a few words about our friend, David Philip Norris. David appeared in our first two shows, The Celestial Toymaker and The Power of the Daleks. He was a big part of getting the Console Room radio players off the ground. Today's performance is dedicated to our friend and cast member, David Philip Norris. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Sloan.
The Doctor, a strange and fantastic being who travels the galaxy righting wrongs and helping those in need with the aid of the TARDIS, an impossible machine that can not only travel anywhere in the universe, but can go to the past or future at the Doctor's whim. Joining the Doctor is Stephen, a rough and ready space pilot. Together they face adventure, danger, and mind-bending realities that would shatter most human brains. This is Doctor Who. Today's episode, The Dalek Masterplan Part 3, written by Terry Nation and Dennis Spooner, adapted by Earl Lucas and Joe Ackerman, directed by Ben Ellis.
Woo woo, bum 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 woo.
It is December 1965. On a snowy English street, a police station sergeant hears a strange wheezing and rumbling sound outside in the back of his precinct office and steps out to investigate. To his surprise, there stands in a once empty spot a blue police box, almost as if it had landed there.
What in the name of... Who put that there?
Before the station sergeant can begin a full examination, he hears two policemen returning from patrol.
See, I reckon we could charm the birds off of trees.
I'd settle for some of the coffee bars. Hey, there's the sergeant. Come on.
Hello, Sergeant. What are you doing out here?
Hey, come and have a look at this.
Where did this Mackenzie Trench design police box come from?
You tell me.
Oh, perhaps somebody sent it to the inspector as a Christmas box.
At least it's not one of the Glasgow styles.
Oh, agreed. You can always get that gas smell.
And on a night like this, that concrete is double cold.
Newcastle, they got the best ones under quality. He's got the right idea about these.
I'll tell you what, with advances in radio technology, wouldn't surprise me if they're phased out by the mid-70s, eh?
Will you two be quiet? The door is locked and none of my keys work on it. Just stay there and keep watch on it.
Oh, why? It's not going to fly away, sir.
Ha ha, cut the comedy, Sid James. Just stay there and keep an eye on it, all right?
The three officers could never have guessed the truth behind their latest mystery, as this was not one of the 685 ordinary police boxes commonly seen around England, but it is, in fact, the TARDIS. The Doctor, Stephen, and Sarah Kingdom are inside this masquerading police box, planning their next move after narrowly escaping the Daleks.
Doctor, something's wrong.
Why do you say that, Sarah?
The central column has stopped going up and down.
Oh, that's nothing. That just means we've landed, that's all.
Landed? But Stephen, we escaped from the Daleks just moments ago.
Oh, well, you see, the TARDIS ain't like other ships. Where'd we end up this time, Doc?
Good question, my boy.
The Doctor presses a scanner switch and the televised picture appears, only to be totally covered in static.
Static.
Fiddlesticks. If it's not one thing, it's another. The scanner's not working.
Can you mend it?
Yes, I can repair it, of course. But that means checking the whole circuit.
Well, let's get started.
Don't you dare touch anything.
Oh, why not?
Well, just look at those readings, my dear boy. And Sarah, look at those dials. If either of you went outside, it would be extremely dangerous. The whole atmosphere is poisonous. I'll have to investigate myself.
Oh, and if it's just why, if it ain't safe for us, is it safe for you, Doc?
Well, neither of you understand.
For heaven's sake, let's go fix the scanner.
No. Where you come from, both places, the air is pure. Outside here is the worst kind of pollution I've met in years.
All right, then you shouldn't go out there either.
Ah, my dear boy, I am used to all sorts of atmospheres. Won't affect me. I shall have to go out and do the repairs myself.
But suppose something happens to you.
Then and only then can you come out. But you must be very, very careful.
And how are we supposed to know that something has happened to you?
My dear young man, just give me a few minutes and all will be well. I shall be back inside to tell you.
Yeah, and if not, we come out and find you. I seem to have been through all this before.
Now look here, my boy. You will do as you're told. Now you just open the doors and remember to close them after I'm gone.
Yes, ma'am.
Outside, one of the police officers is still guarding the TARDIS while the other checks the area. The door to the TARDIS opens and out steps the doctor.
Oh dear, good evening.
Oh, good evening.
A spot of weather we're having, eh?
Oh, yes, but good for tonight.
Well, good night, officer, and stay warm.
Oh, well, thank you. Good night.
The doctor quickly goes back inside the TARDIS and locks the door.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey!
What's up?
You see that?
Say what?
That then.
What when?
That door.
That door?
It opened.
Did it?
There's a Sheila in there.
Oh, aye.
A Sheila with long white hair. I just saw her.
Did you now?
Yes.
It's locked.
Yeah, but I just saw her.
Oh, aye. Back inside, a surprised doctor tries to explain what she just encountered.
There's police outside. Police.
Oh, I see. We've landed on your own planet.
Oh, no, child, no. We're on Earth.
But that's what's written outside the TARDIS.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. I shall have to go outside and try to distract them. Meanwhile, you can stay here for a while and then come out and do the scanner.
Yeah, but you said the air was out there was so bad that if we went outside...
Never mind what I said, dear boy. Do as you're told. Now shut the doors. Shut them after I'm gone, and remember to lock them.
Yes, ma'am.
The doctor goes outside the TARDIS again and Stephen closes the doors. This time, the two officers are now ready for her.
I say hello again.
It wouldn't be Mrs. Santa Claus, would it?
All right, ma'am. That's a fair cop.
Goodness gracious me.
The two proceed to bring the doctor into the station, where the station sergeant is dealing with a complaint.
All right, what can I do for you?
I've got a complaint.
Well, the doctor's just round the corner.
No. I mean, I want to make a complaint.
Oh, I see. Well, let's have it then.
They keep moving my house.
Moving your what?
House.
They keep moving your house.
Yes, my greenhouse. It's the rebels.
The rebels?
The two officers entered with the doctor.
Anyone in CRD?
Oh, straight through.
Good. Come on.
The doctor holds a minute and notices the person making the complaint.
Haven't I heard your voice from somewhere?
Where?
Yes, of course I remember now. The marketplace at Jaffa.
Jaffa. Anyways, the young chap said I should come down to see you about...
Do what?
About me greenhouse. It's the rebels.
Back in the TARDIS, Stephen decides to see if the coast is clear. Upon opening the door, he sees the policemen in their uniforms. Through the windows of the police station, he spies the doctor inside the police station. He goes back into the TARDIS as the doctor is being placed for questioning by the detective inspector.
I've heard of housing shortages, but I've never known it was so bad you'd have to live in a police call box.
Oh, Christmas. Oh, is it? Of course. Yes. That accounts for the holly in the hall.
You mean you didn't know?
Well, of course I didn't know. I travel about too much.
And why is that?
Well, a quest for knowledge, dear girl. I mean, you have a saying in this country, have you not? Travel broadens the mind?
You mean you're not English?
No, heavens no.
Scottish?
No.
Are you Welsh then?
Oh, you'll have to think in a far bigger way than that. Your ideas are too narrow, too small, too crippled.
All right. Where are you then?
Well, I suppose you might say that I am a citizen of the universe, and a lady to boot.
She's having us on a bit, isn't she, Mum?
Now look here, ma'am.
Stephen emerges from the TARDIS dressed as a policeman, having found a uniform inside the TARDIS wardrobe room.
All right, these buckaroos talk like a dehydrated 49er. I need to blend in. Hello, 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 hello. Ah, that's close enough.
He turns and heads to the police station where the doctor was taken. The station's sergeant is still dealing with the earlier complaint.
And now they've been and gone and moved it again.
Oh, where to this time?
I don't know. That's why I came to see you. The young fella.
You sure it's not out there, along beside...
Stephen, disguised as an officer, enters the building.
Oh, yeah, just a minute.
Excuse me.
Ah, you must be the new bloke from G Division. Come to help us out.
I beg your pardon.
I said you must be the new bloke from G Division.
Must I? Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, I called about the old lady.
Old lady? What old lady?
Well, she was here just a minute ago.
Oh, she's with the CID. You better wait until they're finished with her.
Yes, fine, that'll be fine. I got to go get her.
Well, you'll just have to wait, lad. She'll be out here again soon. Now wait over there.
Now what about my greenhouse?
Oh, yes. Now, where was it you said?
Well, for a start, it's not in the garden.
Time again to check in on how the doctor is doing.
Never mind where I got my ring. I don't think you really understand. That object in the yard out there isn't really a police box.
No, no, of course not. It's a New Brighton ferry.
It's a machine for investigating time and relative dimensions in space.
She's a nutter.
Straight from the funny farm, if you ask me.
Do I take it that you're imputing that I am mentally deranged?
I told you, she's a nutter.
Was she the only one in the box?
Well, how should I know?
Well, didn't you check? There must a whole army of them in there living like gypsies in one of Her Majesty's police phone boxes.
And just how many people do you expect to come pouring out of that box? Back at the TARDIS, Sarah makes her move to repair the scanner. She exits the TARDIS and sees no sign of either the doctor or Stephen.
Where have they got to?
Hello, hello. What are you doing hanging around here on Christmas Day?
Oh, nothing.
I suppose you're surprised to see a police box here, eh?
Oh, you think it's yours?
Well, not exactly mine. Let's just say it belongs to us, eh? Now, why don't you leave it where it is and just move along, eh?
Well, I've got to fix it.
Fix what?
The scanner eye.
The scanner eye?
Yes.
Oh, you do now, do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, look, we usually get the jokers around here at Christmas time, but we've got to be lenient, so just why don't you move along, please, eh?
I can't.
Yes, you can, young lady. That's enough joking. I'm sure you're out to enjoy yourself at a party you're going to, so why not go down there now?
I'm not going to any party.
Well, wherever you are going dressed up in those fancy clothes, you should leave now and there'll be no trouble.
I've got to stay here.
Now, look, you take my advice, young lady, leave now. Otherwise, I might have to run you in for loitering or something like that, and I wouldn't like to have to do that. Now, we've had a bit of trouble already tonight. You see, don't like people hanging around, but at Christmas time, we've got to be lenient, and we don't want to be too difficult on you.
But, oh, very well.
Have a swinging time. Funny sort of girl.
Those two idiots. They've obviously got themselves into some kind of trouble.
Back inside the police station, Stephen is nervously pacing.
Why don't you sit down, lad? You're making the place look untidy.
Just then, the doctor, escorted by the detective inspector, appears. Stephen rushes over to them.
It's all right.
Of course, of course. And what are you doing here,
Who are you? Do you know this woman?
Yes, I
He's the extra bloke from G Division, sir.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, right. I will look after her.
Well, if you know her, perhaps you can tell us what she's doing in a police box.
Cool, blimey. A police box?
That police box in the yard. She claims to live in it.
Hold on just a minute. It'll be all right. Just a minute. Detective Inspector.
Yes, Constable?
Oh, it's all right. You see, she's a funny sort of hen, but I know how to handle her. We're used to her down in G Division.
Very well then, get her out of here and see that she steers clear of that police box.
Righty-o, I'll do that, Mum. All right, come on there, old woman.
Enough of the old woman. And what's all this funny accent?
Everybody else around here is doing it.
As the doctor and Stephen walk out the station door, Sarah is climbing down from the ladder, which is placed against the back of the TARDIS, having fixed the scanner when suddenly, "Hey, you! What are you playing at?"
We've got to reach the TARDIS and hurry.
Yes. Oh,
I don't know what it is about that police box. First of all, the old Shayla coming out of it. Now I catch this lass climbing about on it.
Please let me go.
It's all right. I know her too.
Aye, and you seem to know all the old people. Well, who is she?
Well, she's a friend of the old woman's, yes.
Let me go. Come on, Stephen.
Sarah pulls free of the policeman, knocking him down. Sarah, Stephen, and the doctor run to the TARDIS and quickly get inside, slamming the doors behind them. The TARDIS dematerializes as the policemen recover.
There's that noise again.
That telephone box, it's gone.
And you said it wasn't going to fly away.
Back in the TARDIS.
I found the police jacket, so they let me think I was one of their group. And then when Sarah appeared on the scene, they were completely mystified.
well, even I, dear boy, must admit I enjoyed myself. Did the scanner get fixed?
Yes, and with no help from either of you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try not to get arrested next time.
At least it's working.
Have you checked it?
Of course not. After that man grabbed me, I didn't have a chance.
Never mind. More importantly, is the terranium safe?
Yeah, right where we left it after we gave the Daleks the fake terranium you made.
Oh, I'd forgotten about the Daleks.
Now that's one thing you mustn't do, my dear. Remember, they have a variation of my ship, and they can follow us.
Yeah, but they won't have found out about the switch yet, would they?
No, I sincerely hope not.
And while we have the real terranium, their time destructor device cannot work.
I don't think the Daleks will attack the solar system until they've checked their time destructor.
Well, then what can we do?
Well, I think we might perhaps be able to destroy the Tyranium before they catch us up. But we've got another matter to deal with.
Now what?
Yeah, what else is there?
Well, we so rarely get a chance to celebrate, but this time we must.
Celebrate?
Yes, it's the console room's 10th anniversary. Don't you remember?
Oh, yeah, so it is.
And as you're both from Earth, a happy anniversary from all of us.
Oh, happy anniversary, console room.
While the doctor and her friends enjoy a rare moment of peace, the Daleks are relentlessly working on Kemble to complete the dreaded time destructor. The Council of Evil, waiting for an update from the Daleks, continue to scheme.
Mavic Chen, having had your contribution of terranium to this great weapon stolen, it must be a relief to you now that the Daleks have managed to recover it.
Without my help, my dear Sillerton, it is unlikely that they'd have got it back.
At least that absurd story that it was my people from Trantisa who stole the terranium has been discredited.
Yes, Trantis. I understand they were from Earth.
Only 2 of them, and they are under the influence of some creature from another galaxy.
She looked like an Earth creature.
That's only a disguise. The Doctor, she calls herself. The Daleks know of her. She is some kind of time and space traveler.
Then she is nothing to do with me. We have not yet conquered the dimension of time.
I hear your experiments in that field are progressing, Trantis.
We have not yet succeeded. Only the Daleks know how to break the time barrier.
But what of this other creature, the Doctor, wherever she comes from?
Oh, she's of no importance now. After all, we're here to witness the testing of the Time Destructor, are we not? And once we implement it, the Doctor and her Confederates will be punished for daring to challenge me.
Not far, in another part of Dalek City, the Black Dalek is overseeing the completion of the Time Destructor.
Inform the Dalek Supreme that the Time Destructor is ready for testing.
Are all circuits operational?
Yes, the Terranium core has been fitted.
All is ready.
It is.
Program it for testing. Call for Mavic Chen and the others.
I obey. Mavic Chen, along with Salation and Trantis, enter the testing room, escorted by 2 Daleks.
All that is needed is a subject.
The subject has been selected.
To Chen and Salation's surprise, Trantis moves to the Black Dalek and the testing area and enters the test chamber.
I wonder why they chose him.
It was his own choice, really.
What do you mean?
He was so eager to make a contribution to the Time Destructor that they've let him make one. His life.
I always found his kind to be unstable.
Let the deed of Trantis be an example to all the council. Let the name of Trantis be known as the one that took the first step of the Time Destructor's march to total conquest of the universe.
Prepare to activate the Time Destructor.
Are the other 2 creatures to be present at the destruction?
Yes, their greed for power is too great that they can be trusted. Activate the machine.
I obey.
The Dalek activates the Time Destructor. The device immediately begins to pulse with light. Trantis tries to hold a brave face. The machine continues to operate but appears to have no effect on Trantis. The delegates watch with concern.
Nothing's happening to him.
The Time Destructor does not work.
But that's impossible. It must work. It must.
The Destructor is having no effect.
The mechanism is functioning perfectly. Locating malfunction. The fault is in the Terranium.
Mavic Chen, the Terranium core has failed.
It can't be true. There must be some mistake.
The Daleks do not make mistakes. You have lied to us. You have not given us the Terranium.
Why should I lie? I can only benefit from my alliance with you. I brought you the Terranium, the real Terranium.
The core is worthless.
No, it can't be. It came from Uranus. I know it did.
We fitted the core you gave us. It has failed to activate the Time Destructor. Therefore, it is not Terranium.
It was that old woman, that time traveler.
Do not shift blame.
No, she must have changed it.
But it was you who said that she gave you was the Terranium core.
I know, but I didn't check it. How could I? The old woman fooled us. The Daleks should have checked before they fitted it, before they let the old woman go.
Report to Scarrow. They must send a time machine to us immediately.
I obey.
You will both wait here.
But this is nothing to do with me. I was invited as an observer.
Very well. You can return to your section. You, Mavic Chen, will wait here for the arrival of the time machine.
Yes.
What about the test subject?
The test subject? Exterminate him.
The Daleks quickly exterminate Tranches. And proceed to hunt the doctor, who is on the TARDIS studying an alert on a control panel.
Doctor, what do you mean you don't know?
My dear, this machine can only tell us we're being followed, not by whom.
I bet it's them Daleks.
Yes, a hasty conclusion, but possibly right. Although I don't understand how they could have tested that terranium so quickly.
We must get back to the planet Kimball.
Oh, nonsense, my dear.
We must. We've got to destroy the Daleks' invasion fleet.
I'm more worried about what's following us.
Yes, yes.
Well, when are we going to land?
Pretty soon, my dear, pretty soon.
And I thought you knew what you were doing.
I know full well what I'm doing, child. Now don't get so excited.
They're getting closer, Doc.
Yes, I see. Yes, I must do something drastic.
The doctor moves to the controls and operates a switch.
What are you doing?
Landing, my dear. That's what you wanted, wasn't it? Now let's...
We interrupt this program to bring you the breaking news from today's highly anticipated cricket match. We'll resume your regularly scheduled program after this news break. We take you live to the Basin Reserve for an update on the intense game of England versus Australia with Trevor Travis and Scott McLeod.
Well, Scott, the English batsmen are really fighting against the clock now.
My word, yes, Travis. 78 runs in 45 minutes to win.
Really has been an exciting game, hasn't it, Scott?
Very exciting.
Well, let's have a look at the scoreboard, shall we? Now you'll see. Oh, goodness me. Take a look at that, Scott.
Take a look at what, Trev?
There's a police box on the pitch, as if it just materialized there.
My word, yes, and it's a Mackenzie Trench style as well. At least it's not Glasgow style.
Quite right. Well, this really is extraordinary. You don't remember anything like this happening before, do you, Scott?
No.
Well, anyway, Reginald is looking through the record books, and if there has been anything like it before, I'm sure he'll find it for us.
You know, Trev, this puts a new light in the game.
What lights is that, Scott?
Well, I know the ground staff are excellent, but even assuming they get rid of it in, say, 10 minutes, England will still have to get their 78 runs in, say, 35 minutes.
Ah, yes. Well, I think we can safely say this has been a very bad break for England.
A very bad break indeed, especially as the weather's been holding off so well.
Yes, it has, hasn't it? Been holding off remarkably well. Well, let's have another look at the scoreboard, shall we? Although not very much has been happening these last few...
Wait, it's making a funny noise. Whoosh, whoosh.
What's that?
Whoosh. A funny sort of wheezy noise is coming from the police box. And it's going, and it's gone again, Trev. Vanished like me money at the pub.
Yes, so it has. Well, that wasn't too bad, was it, Scott?
2.5 minutes, I make it, Trev.
Yes, well, there's the position. England wanting 78 runs in 42.5 minutes to win.
We now return you to our regularly scheduled program already in progress.
What was that?
Yes, it was certainly some kind of sporting occasion.
Sporting occasion, Doctor?
Was it on Earth, do you think?
Oh, possibly, my dear fellow, possibly. No place for us to be. Not at all.
Yeah, well, wherever it is, we've still got somebody on our tail.
Oh, dear. Yes, my plan hasn't worked. Following us too closely. But whom?
Back on Campbell, a Dalek time machine materializes from Skaro, and a Dalek emerges from it.
Your order has been carried out. The time machine is ready to commence operations.
Excellent. Organize a task force for pursuit of the time travelers.
I obey.
ascertain their position on the time-space scope.
I obey!
Maverick Chen, you will accompany the task force. You will ensure that the real Terranium core is returned to Kimball.
Of course, I shall do everything in my power.
If you fail or we find that you have deceived us, you will suffer the same fate as the time travelers, extermination.
As the Daleks prepare to launch an offense, the TARDIS lands on Tygus. While a hostile volcanic planet, it is somewhat habitable. Inside, the Doctor tried to solve the mystery of their unrelenting pursuer.
Where are we, Doctor? Do you know?
Man, this plane ain't very pleasant, is it?
I would agree on that assessment. We must take off quite soon.
The alert. It stopped.
What does that mean, Doc? Have we lost them?
No, my dear boy, we haven't shaken them off. Whoever was following us has landed. They've landed out there.
On the surface of Tygus, a large rock materializes, much how the TARDIS does. The rock opens and a shadowy figure steps out and begins to laugh to himself as he spies the Doctor, Stephen, and Sarah exit the TARDIS to explore Tygus.
You know, Doc, it would help out a lot if we knew what we were looking for.
I still say it was madness to come out here. We should have taken off again, or tried to get back to Kemble.
My dear young girl, what good would it be to run away? The sooner we find what's pursuing us, the better.
Whew, this place is hotter than Death Valley.
Yes, well, I can imagine that. This is a new planet, my boy. It's cooling down, cooling down. Fascinating, yes, extremely fascinating. I wonder who would take the time and trouble to follow us, Who has the ability to follow us, Oh, my. I think there's an explanation, but unlikely. Possible, very possible, but I wonder.
As our trio explore further, the figure from the rock has found the TARDIS and sets to work on the lock with his bag of tools. The TARDIS door opens.
Think you're so clever, eh, Doctor?
The Doctor, wanting to test her theory, returns to the TARDIS and calls out.
Hello there, hello. Don't you think we should meet and have a chinwag,
Oh, Doc, who are we waiting for?
Oh, you'll see, my boy, you'll see.
Oh, yeah, sure. And who you're just going to say you a rat to whoever we meet.
You lack one quality of all the others, my boy, and that is patience.
Doctor, look.
Emerging from the other side of the TARDIS, a stubby, harmless-looking older man with a mischievous grin appears. He is wearing sandals and the old monastery robes of Earth. It is none other than the meddling monk. Longtime listeners will remember the monk is a fellow time traveler like the Doctor, but uses his gift of time and time travel for personal gain and interference and not for education and assistance. The Doctor stopped the monk by removing the dimensional stabilizer from the monk's TARDIS, stranding him on Earth in the year 1066.
Oh, my dear monk, it really is you. Told you I was right.
Well, hello, Doctor. Keeping well?
Oh, no complaints, no. And you?
Oh, so-so, just so-so. And Stephen, delighted to see you again, young man.
Thanks. Wish I could say the same for you.
Who's that?
Trouble. Serious trouble.
I suppose congratulations for your escape are quite in order.
Oh, thank you. Most kind of you, Doctor. Yes, it took a bit of time, but I finally managed to bypass dimensional controls.
Yes, a very interesting solution, yes. I'm sure it would make for a rather uncomfortable ride. However, I don't suppose it affected you very much, being an amateur.
Yes, it was rather uncomfortable, but then we can't have everything, can we? And as for me being an amateur, we shall see. At any rate, it was better than 1066.
Yes, I suppose so. And you returned here for one obvious reason. Did you not?
I'm afraid so, Doctor. Revenge is a strange thing, isn't it?
Yes, quite. Tell me, any plans?
And all carried out as well, Doctor. You remember you left me in 1066.
Oh, yes, fun times.
Now I've marooned you on the planet Tygus. Oh, it's funny, this. Forgive me laughing, Doctor, but I don't seem to be able to control it. Well, goodbye, Doctor. Perhaps I'll come back one day and rescue you.
Oh, that is most thoughtful of you.
The monk begins to return to his TARDIS, which is still disguised as a rock.
Hey, wait a minute.
Someone want to tell me what is going on?
Well, you see, back on Earth in 1066,
Don't waste your breath, young man. We'll explain, Sarah, once we find out what he's done to my TARDIS.
Rushing back, the doctor finds she is unable to open the TARDIS door.
He's probably used some kind of ray.
What does that mean?
That means we cannot get back into the TARDIS, child.
Nearby, out of sight, the monk is watching and chuckling to himself. Stephen is attempting to pick the lock.
Oh, you'll achieve nothing there, dear boy, nothing.
Yes, perhaps, but it's better than just accepting everything.
Yes, like I am, I suppose.
well, you haven't been taking much interest, have you, Doc?
Oh, and why not, dear boy, why not? Because I am using my brain. I'm trying to solve this problem. Now just stand back and cover your eyes, please.
The doctor removes a large ring from her finger.
And what's that going to do?
Perhaps nothing, perhaps everything. Will you two do as you're told at once? Cover your eyes, please.
The doctor holds a ring near the lock and reflects the sunlight onto the lock. The ring becomes hot and she drops it with a gasp. Shara pushes the door, which remains shut.
It hasn't worked.
Wait a moment, child.
The doctor unlocks the door with her key.
Now try.
Sarah pushes the door open.
Doc, you're a genius.
Yes, I know, my boy, I know.
Let's get out of here.
Our heroes run into the TARDIS and it dematerializes. The monk, coming out of his TARDIS with a drink and a chair, sees them leave.
Oh, no, no, no. Don't think I'm going to leave it at this. You haven't heard the last of me, Doctor. You haven't heard the last of me.
Back at the doctor's TARDIS, Sarah has had it all explained to her.
Oh, so that's who that was.
Yeah, and if you ask me, we haven't heard the last of that scoundrel.
Quite so, dear boy. He'll be on our trail again as fast as he can get going.
Yes, but next time we'll be expecting him.
Exactly, my dear, exactly. And now, Stephen, there's something I want you to do. Go to that indicator and let me know the instant the monk's TARDIS registers.
Yeah, all right. But first you got to tell us something. How did you break that lock?
Oh, that's all very simple, dear boy. You see, the sun in that particular galaxy has very unusual powers. I merely reflected its powers through that ring.
Is there something special about it?
Yes, it has certain properties. I got it from a man named Cranston a while ago. The combined forces of that sun together with the stone in that ring was sufficient enough to correct the monk's interference.
Yeah, but what properties?
Now, I don't want to discuss this anymore. About turn and do as you're told. Go along.
Back on Kemble, the Dalek time pursuit ship is ready.
The task force is now aboard. The enemy ship is preparing to land.
Compute their bearing and advise task force. Task force will use the space-time targeting beam to pursue.
Enemy ship located. Space-time targeting is locked. Begin attack.
The Dalek ship with Maverick Chen on board dematerializes and it begins its mission. Our time machine is now in pursuit. Nothing can match Dalek technology. The universe shall be ours. Conquest is assured.
Conquest! Conquest! Conquest!
The TARDIS has materialized in ancient Egypt near the pyramids. Sarah is inside, monitoring the monk's TARDIS, unaware of the Dalek's latest move. The doctor, worried about the damage the monk has caused to the lock, has gotten her toolkit and is working on it with Stephen.
Well, how long is it going to take you to mend the lock, Doc?
Well, it's hard to say, my boy, but I think it's going to be a little more difficult than I thought.
All right. And that other time machine is still registering.
Yes, but I don't think so for much longer. It's about time that wretched monk landed, and I think he will quite soon.
Quite impressive, ain't they?
The pyramids? Oh, yes. Here they are, the seventh wonder of the ancient world. I should say the word impressive is rather an understatement.
Yeah, I reckon. There doesn't seem to be anybody around.
Would you mind passing me the diatribe, dear boy, please?
There you go.
Thank you.
There's not much cover out here, is there? You know, if the monk's TARDIS lands on that side of the pyramid, we could see it easily. However, it disguises itself. I think I'll take a look from up there. It'll give me a better view. I'll be right back.
Yes, I think perhaps it would be a good idea if you kept your eye on the monk. So if you climb higher.
The doctor looks up and sees she is alone.
Talking to myself,
Meanwhile, on the quickly approaching Dalek time spaceship, Daleks are working the controls under the command of the Red Dalek. Over in the corner, Mavic Chen is plotting.
Mavic Chen, the recovery of the Terranium core is your responsibility.
I welcome it. Guile and cunning will succeed where force would fail.
Once the Terranium core is in your possession, we will exterminate the humans.
Of course. And I assume that desert-looking area is where they've landed.
You are correct, and we shall arrive shortly in 4 Earth minutes.
They must have equipment on in their ship. Equipment that would inform them of our pursuit.
The time traveler is making no attempt to take off.
That's very strange. Why should they choose to wait and face us?
Stand by for materialization.
Continuum stabilizer. Reading 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Materializing now.
A whispering humming noise is heard as the time machine lands. Stephen is its sole witness.
Doc, I can see it. I saw it land. Doc!
As Stephen runs back, Sarah comes out of the TARDIS while the doctor is still working on the lock.
Doc!
Tut, tut, tut. Calm down, calm down. What is all the fuss? Is that you bawling your head off?
Yeah, I saw it land. Over there.
Doctor, whatever was following us has stopped registering on the time curve indicator.
It's over there, Sarah. About a quarter mile away.
Now that's very good. Very good. Now please excuse me. I've a lock to fix.
Well, shouldn't we take the initiative and confront the monk?
Oh, my dear children, I have no intention of leaving the TARDIS unlocked. And another thing you should know, I'd have to strip the whole of its mechanism down before I ever put it right.
Well, how long are you going to be?
I don't know. Anyway, I dare say that I can catch you up somewhere. But be careful, you know. The monk can be very harmful if he wants to be.
Don't you worry about a thing, Doc. We got an eye on him.
Stephen and Sarah begin the trek to the ship Stephen saw land. But from a distance, an Egyptian named Tutmos is spying on our heroes. He leaves and goes to a nearby workshop where Hyksos and Kefren are eating breakfast. Hyksos inquires as to what brings Tutmos there.
Why do you disturb our breakfast, Tutmos?
Master, strangers at the tomb.
Kefren, come.
The three instantly leave to investigate. Elsewhere, Sarah and Stephen have arrived at the part of the desert where the time machine simply sits in the sands. It is a featureless box.
Well, it didn't work this time, did it?
What hasn't?
The monk's TARDIS. Usually, they'll blend in with the surrounding, like the doctor should.
Maybe the monk didn't bother this time.
Yeah, maybe. But I thought it was automatic. Anyway, let's go take a look.
They start to move forward, but it stops when the door to the machine opens and Mavic Chen steps out, followed by a Dalek.
Daleks!
I knew we should have tried to get back to Kemble.
It's a bit late for that now. Come on, we gotta go warn the doc.
Sarah and Stephen turn around but are grabbed by guards under the command of Hyksos, who has been watching the whole thing. Before Sarah and Stephen can use their talents to defend themselves, they are both knocked out.
Take them away. The rest of you follow me.
4 guards drag Stephen and Sarah away. Hyksos then sees Mavic Chen and the Daleks.
More invaders. Seize them.
Seeing a wave of Egyptian warriors racing towards them, Mavic Chen dodges for the cover of a limestone rock. The guards stop in front of the Daleks, not knowing what to do.
Seize them, you cowards.
The Red Dalek, seeing the attackers are not overly dangerous, gives an order.
Exterminate the creatures.
The Daleks start opening fire on the soldiers, some of whom die horribly. The rest run for their lives.
Pursue and exterminate.
The Daleks move forward, obeying the order. A chase ensues around the pyramid as the soldiers are trying to get away. The Daleks keep firing and murdering the soldiers. Hyksos looks on in horror.
A slaughter. We must fetch reinforcements.
Hyksos just barely escapes with a few men when the Daleks return to their ship.
Did we sustain damage?
No, it was only inhabitants of this time and planet.
Unimportant. exterminate them on sight.
Meanwhile, back in the TARDIS, the doctor has finished the repairs, returned the toolkit to the TARDIS, and picked up her walking stick. She carefully looks again at the new lock with a measure of pride in her work.
Well, now that's finished, I must go. I wonder where those other two are. Sarah! Stephen!
The doctor is walking about, having a look at the pyramid, but away from where the slaughter happened. She half looks for her companions and half observes parts of the pyramid under construction. Suddenly, the doctor hears a familiar sound, a sound which heralds the arrival of a huge building block. It is the monk's TARDIS.
Well, what have we here?
As the doctor slips behind a block, the monk steps out and is still wearing his robe and a pair of mirrored sunglasses to look for the doctor's TARDIS. The doctor moves into the open and is looking at the monk's TARDIS.
I say, if you just arrived then, who was it who landed before then? The Daleks!
Back at the workshop, Stephen and Sarah's bodies are brought in and dumped on the ground. Stephen and Sarah both start to wake up, but start to fake still being knocked out cold. Tutmos and Kefren rise as Hyksos enters the room.
Plunderers, murderers,
What of the others?
slaughtered. I will journey to the next encampment. We'll need an army to do battle with their fire-throwing machines.
Yes, and I will take my slaves to the tomb. The treasures that Pharaoh has sent for his journey to the afterlife will be placed inside. There, they will be easier to guard.
I will return when the sun is above us. You, soldier, guard these two.
Hyksos leaves with Kefren and Tutmos. Stephen and Sarah pretend to wake up.
Oh, yeah. How long are you going to keep us here?
Until your friends have been brought to join you. Then you'll answer for your crimes.
We ain't got anything to answer for. We ain't interested in your treasures.
Not even the old woman?
Not even the old woman.
Then why did she examine that large blue box so carefully?
Well, probably because the large blue box is hers.
Now I know you lie. Everything the slaves hauled here across the desert belongs to Pharaoh.
The guard leaves Sarah and Stephen alone.
While you were talking, I managed to find a piece of broken pottery. With a bit of time, I think I can get through these bonds.
Great. You keep sawing.
Elsewhere, the monk marches happily through the sand with no idea at all that the doctor is following him with a big grin on her face. The monk spies a figure he approaches, acting innocent as if he belongs there.
Good morning, my son.
As Mavic Chen turns to see who spoke those words, a Dalek appears behind him.
A Dalek here?
Exterminate!
Wait! Don't fire.
Dalek exterminations will not be questioned!
This could help us recover the Terranium core.
Explain!
In a moment. So, you have heard of the Daleks?
Yes, by reputation.
Then you are certainly not of this time.
No, certainly not. Just a passing time traveler, anxious to be on his way, so if you'll excuse me, I'll...
Halt!
3 time machines in one infinitesimal speck of space and time. Of course, a coincidence is possible, but hardly likely. You would agree?
Oh, yes, I would agree.
Then why have you arrived here?
3 time machines. Yes, well, the odd one out belongs to a certain doctor.
The enemy ship?
Yes, that's right, the enemy. I have an old score settled with her, but I'm sure yours is the prior claim.
She is a friend of yours.
Friend? No, I'm not an enemy. An enemy to end all enemies. I came here to inflict a terrible vengeance on her. I mean, we're all on the same side, aren't we?
But she knows you.
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes, and in a manner of speaking, no.
Could you gain her confidence?
Certainly, if you want me to. No question about it, no doubt at all.
Then you might have a slight chance of saving your life. The doctor and her friends have in their possession a full M of Terranium.
A full M of Terranium?
You see, it belongs to the Daleks. You will recover this and return it to us within 1 Earth hour.
I will? Oh, I will, I promise.
I need hardly remind you that the Daleks will reward failure on your part with extermination.
Thank you. Elimination. Oh, you'll get it back. Have no fear.
Then you'd better leave at once and waste no more of your valuable time.
The monk sets out to find the doctor's TARDIS using an energy tracker. The doctor, however, heads straight for the monk's TARDIS.
Good heavens, you've given an opportunity you didn't have before.
The doctor enters the monk's TARDIS and begins to manipulate the chameleon circuits. With a hum, the monk's TARDIS starts to change shape of the following: a tall ionic column, a stagecoach, a small tree, an igloo, a small one-man rocket ship, a camel, and then finally, a tall blue British police telephone box, an exact copy of the doctor's. The doctor comes out holding some type of circuit or unit and walks away. Back in the Egyptian workshop.
All right, how's it going?
I think that's done it. Yes.
Oh, look at that. We're free. Now for those guards. I'll hide here, and you...
I'll call them. Guards! Guards! Help!
The two guards enter, and Sarah uses her judo skills to take them out before Stephen can even land a punch.
Remind me not to pick a fight with you. Let's get out of here.
Nearby, Kefren has ordered his slaves to bring the doctor's TARDIS into the tomb. Then they leave to get some more of the pharaoh's treasures. The monk enters the tomb and eventually finds the TARDIS. As he tries to open it, a voice speaks.
You're wasting your time. You won't get in.
Doctor, you've been following me.
For a time, yes. I've been glad to. You know, I don't think I would have found my TARDIS without the help of that energy tracker.
No? Come in very handy, hasn't it? You know, Doctor, if your machines would blend in with its surroundings, people wouldn't be able to find it, and then we wouldn't have all this trouble.
Yes, like your machine, I suppose,
Exactly, Doctor, like mine. I could teach you a thing or two, you know.
Well, you know, my way has its advantages. The Egyptians thought it was a very good idea. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought it in here. As for your machine, well, it's probably disguised as what? A sort of block of stone,
The monk's face turns pale.
Now, Doctor, it's a pity that we're having this feud, you know. By the way, you didn't track me in your time curve indicator this time, did you?
Oh, not your machine, no. I didn't realize it at the time.
I jumped across the track.
Really?
It's simple, really, you know, Doctor. It's up to you, of course. If you like to come inside, I can show you how it was done.
And then you would like to see the terranium too.
Yes. Do you know, I knew there was something I had to tell you. I've come here to warn you about the Daleks.
Warn me? Oh, but you shouldn't have.
Yes, I've been playing along with their own game, of course, for quite a time, but they don't like you, you know? They don't like you at all.
So why didn't you
What?
warn me?
Oh, well, you were talking at the time. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, I see. You know, I think before I go, I shall put you safely out of the way.
Come now, Doctor. Surely you don't think I was going to help the Daleks.
I did.
Keep back now, Doctor. Look, let's talk this over like civilized time travelers. Put down that walking stick. It's a Terranium core they want, not you. Why don't you give it to them, and we will all be on our way.
Oh, if you believe that, my friend, you will believe anything.
Doctor, you've got me concerned. Don't do anything you might regret. Doctor.
Back at the Dalek ship.
Give your report.
The time traveler has not made contact.
He has betrayed us. Prepare a task force to attack. All humans will be exterminated.
I obey.
At that moment, Stephen and Sarah have arrived where the TARDIS used to be. All that's there are the skid marks where the Egyptians have dragged it away.
The TARDIS! It's gone!
Well, the Egyptians must have taken it to the tomb already. Come on, let's go follow those tracks.
A short time later, the tracks lead them to the tomb. They enter.
Doc?
Doctor?
No doctor.
Unless she's inside. Look, the TARDIS.
Oh, nuts. The door is locked. Hey, Doc, open up. Open up. It's us, Doc. Hey.
Stephen, look over there. Stephen!
Tombs are placed to bury the dead. but the coffin next to Stephen and Sarah begins to open, and a bandaged hand slowly reaches for them. Are Stephen and Sarah trapped in the tomb of the undead? Are they next to go into a coffin? Find out in the next episode of Doctor Who.
Woo! Bum, 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 bum. Thank you all for coming.